Okay, welcome back then. We're picking up early May 1861, which is where we left off, having inflicted a really convincing defeat on the Austrian forces. We inflicted over 100,000 casualties, only took 30,000 of our own, and it looks like the forces that we heavily defeated, or remnants of those forces, have fallen back north. We can see these forces require replacements. They're at sort of only a fraction of their strength. However, the forces that we engaged in Sofia, it looks like we merely brushed those forces aside. Furthermore, I think we did a bit of a do-si-do. As we kind of move north into Plevna, a portion of the Austrian forces slipped past us, reinforced their position in Sofia. So to that end, we've kind of switched places, but we have resecured Plevna in the north, which was unexpected, actually. We're going to sit on the defensive now, and we're going to sit tight just for 2 weeks, I think. The reason being is there's a really good chance the Austrians are going to launch an assault against Sofia. If Sofia falls in the next fortnight, we will lose three, maybe 5 national morale points, something like that. We can make those national morale points up, and we can retake Sofia fairly quickly. But nonetheless, at the moment, it's like an 11-day march. Our forces have just come off the back of an 11-day march, and really significant action at the end of that. It was successful. The action was successful. But we have to be a little bit careful. We don't want to overstretch ourselves. A large part of me wants to pursue these Austrian forces in the north, press and attack against Constanza, maybe even assault Constanza. Maybe do the centre of Wallachia, but not yet. We have to deal with this situation to our rear. And, Sofia is an extremely large and important, not just a place of political significance, but it's a large depot and an important fortress. We do have some Free Army Corps, some Italians, and some Hungarians in there, and they join the fortress garrison, which is a bit more modest than I would have thought it was. What we are going to do, let's have a quick look. We've got a reserve corps here being constructed. Is we're going to deduct a fortress division from Adrianople. We're going to put these boys on rails. We're going to send them up to Plevna, and we're going to enter the structure. Annoyingly, it doesn't always do that. I don't know why. I wonder if it's because I have to do it. It's maybe it's because I'm doing it the wrong way round. Good. It means that when we conduct a move back down towards Sofia, that we at least have a poultry force inside Plevna to kind of hold out. That's the idea. Yeah. So for the moment, let's have a look. 4 days, and how long till 14? Let's remove to Rumelia. That's a 4-day march. He gets some time for recovery, on the basis that we're going to want him to support a move back into Sofia. Okay. We got Avdi Pasha. Let's have a look at their forces. Trying to think who's worse for wear. I'd probably say Abdul Karim to that end. Let's put him in the fortress. Why is this so difficult, putting this army in a fortress? There we go, good God almighty. Right, okay, we'll keep them on a defensive posture anyway, hold at all costs. We've got 2 armies, plus in 4 days Hussein Avni can support him. Yeah, that's fine. Right, that's pretty much all we're going to do. We're going to, fingers tightly crossed for Sofia, frankly. Yeah. What have we got down here? Our transport fleet. Let's quickly check the raiding fleet again. Yeah, the raiding fleet's actually in pretty good shape. So let's get these guys back in the trade box. There's no Austrians there. There were Austrian raiders, but we spotted them. They sustained some damage, and then we actually spotted them. They bypassed us in the northern Adriatic. I don't know if you recall. I did kind of note it at the time. Yeah, but I'm starting to know a bit of a thing. When we land hits in the trade box, what I think we want to do is to prosecute a kind of sortie into the Adriatic to try and pursue them, because that's obviously the only place they're going to go back to. That's where their main port is, in Trieste. So, yeah. Let's check the main Imperial fleet. That's in really good shape as well, actually. So let's sortie the main fleet into the Adriatic. Okay. And we've got some merchants that should be complete now. Yeah, they're ready to go. Right, my thinking is West Pacific Maritime trade box. Yeah, 36 days. And that will give us complete coverage, really, of Japan, Chinese coast. Give us a nice position in Southeast Asia. What is going on here? Colonial merchants, okay. Rightio. Let's just check Aden very quickly. We're not too far off being able to begin the construction of a third militia corps. One turn. And that will begin the construction of a colonial fort in Sanaa. I think we'll begin the construction of a mission as well. Hang on, mission. Yeah, 15 revenue, 15. Okay, that's good. Right. Steel is good. Railroad construction beginning in Struma or Petric. Yeah, 3 national morale points. I mean, that was... Obviously, you've already seen this, but I just have to look at it again just to soak it up. What an action. What a battle. I mean, every time I feel like I'm saying, that's the biggest battle so far in history, but it's a big one. Look at that. They look like they have Turkish volunteers. Or Ottoman volunteers. And I think these are Croats. Yeah. What a victory. Right, okay. We have already read the combat reports. Let's have a quick flick through, just see if there's anything else that we need to have a quick look at. Let's check this militia corps in Ankara. Yeah, but it's actually ready to move. We don't have the rail access just yet. We'll give it a fortnight. We'll move these boys to Adrianople. Excuse me. Right, let's check the economy really quickly. 460, 134. So we're not too far off completing another textile shop. I mean, Ankara right now is like Magnitogorsk or something. It's sort of from, you know, from the earth. These factories are being erected from nothing. We've got 3 factories being constructed simultaneously. A textile mill, luxury goods factory, and a steel furnace. Which is good to see. Yeah, not a great round economic. I mean, 460 domestic market sales is you know, I mean, we were sort of churning out 520 not that long ago. Even after inflation reduced, we were still churning out sort of 500 private capital for domestic market sales. So, you know, as I say, the economic crisis is over, and yet it actually feels now. If I was reading these kind of indices during the economic crisis, I think, yeah, okay, it makes sense. It's strange to have it in the immediate aftermath. Maybe there's a bit of a lag, you know. Exports aren't too bad for the most part, really. It's not. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just a bit of a kind of, you go through kind of slow cycles, you know. Right, exports are actually set. Yeah, exports are set. Check our assets balance very quickly. Yeah, we've got a lot of replacements need to work their way to the front. Or to the front, to our armies anyway. So the next merchants I think will be along kind of Latin America. Okay, we're 115 because we get 5 national morale. Austria is at 103. So we've, bear in mind that at the beginning of this war, Austria had quite a national morale lead on us. I mean, we're both still above 100, but nevertheless, Austria's kind of political capital at the beginning of this war is almost expended now. They're going to start eating into kind of, actual real national morale soon enough. So the real kind of high that they began this war on is beginning to slowly, a year in, and I mean hundreds of thousands of losses. In terms of actual deaths, I don't know how many that is. It might only be 30 or 40,000 deaths, but it's could be 50,000, could be 100,000. I mean, I don't know, but it's a lot of casualties they've suffered for sure. Nothing in Italy. That's a real shame. Prussia's going wild in the Low Countries again. Let's just check the American Civil War very quickly, for historical novelty's sake. So the Union are bearing down based on looted areas, or reports of looting. The suggestion would be that the Union has the upper hand. And they're simultaneously at war with Mexico. Although that said, I mean, the Union kind of fought the American Civil War with one arm tied behind its back, didn't it? Singapore is formerly a British colony now. Baden, it's just an Austrian satellite. Right, that's it. We're going to pass turn. Nothing else to do this turn. Very quickly check the Middle East, just make sure there's nothing untoward going on. No, everything's fine. Libya, yeah, all good. Okay, yeah, I'll pass turn. So we're in early May. I'll put you on pause and see you in late May. Okay, welcome back then. Late May, 1861. And let's have a look at what's happened. Well, first of all, in terms of flavour events, Russia has abolished serfdom. Welcome to the club. The Ottoman Empire abolished serfdom before Britain, I think, in the early 18th century, although serfdom didn't really feature as much in the Ottoman Empire as perhaps Russia, or even feudal England. But anyway, Parliament of Austria rejected government proposal creation of a national bank. Good. Railroad started in Cairo, and our recalcitrant Elliot. Okay, fine. Right, in terms of battles then, the only action is an Austrian attempt to now begin to move in the west. I was kind of waiting for this. When were they going to become a nuisance in the west? We have spotted forces. Of course, our cavalry brigade got basically caught and nailed, attempting to move into Hungary. The hope was this area would be kind of open, and we would destroy some railroads and attract some attention. Actually, there's lots of kind of Austrian forces being constructed in the rear, or partially formed or formed. So they have a large reserve they can draw on still. Yeah, and now they're pressing Zvornik, so we need to kind of think about that. That's the only engagement, really. They actually attempt to assault Zvornik. It is a victory. We lose 6,000 casualties. We inflict 5,000. We've got 16,000, so another 10,000 to go. They've only got one corps there, but they may be joined. It's a reserve corps at that. They've got a mixture of other forces in Sarajevo. But we need to obviously address this at some point. It would only require one army to move up, give them a bloody nose, then move back sort of thing. But the first thing really is Sofia. So, we sat tight. We moved Hussein Avni to Rumelia so that he could support a move into Sofia. Our forces received replacements very quickly. They're in pretty good condition. Abdul Karim his force was in the worst shape, I think. And his forces activated, and yeah, it received replacements. It's in pretty good shape. Weather is not great still. It's still kind of torrential rain in central and northern Bulgaria. The south is a lot better. But yeah, still kind of spring, early summer weather. I think we are going to have to move. The reason being is the fortress at Sofia is now completely breached. And the Austrian force here, large as it is, looks rather low on supplies. I think they're going to probably launch an assault against Sofia. They're going to need the supplies there. So to that end, let's move. 11 days. Abdul Karim Nadir. Also 11 days, I think, yeah. Abdi Pasha, how long? 17 days, for Christ's sake. Well, he should be able to support anyway, actually. 15 days. Hussein Avni and Abdi Pasha should provide support here. That's my hope. They should. I mean, they're not activated, but you don't have to be activated to kind of march to the sound of the guns, I don't think. Double check that. Just severe combat penalties when battling in a hostile region. They should be drawn into the mix. We have to kind of do it, really, because if Sofia falls, then that in turn propels this force on maybe to what? Move towards south, towards Salonika, maybe link up with their kind of rather half-hearted drive in the west, but we don't really want that. And that would, yeah, the situation could become quite complicated quite quickly. And these forces in the north are only going to remain weak so long. A part of the force has moved into Plevna, maybe from Constanza. Maybe that's a breakaway force from their main army in Sofia, I don't know. That should be engaged and dealt with en route anyway. Hope is that, I mean, that will be dealt with quite quickly. Because that's a relatively small force. So Osman Pasha's raiding force then nailed some Austrian ships. We don't know what they were. Landed 10 hits, took 6 in a return. That's good. 10 hits is nice. So his force did take some damage. We're going to have to get those ships back. Actually, we can keep them. There we go, 8 days. And it's what? 5 days up. And then we're going to move all the way back down. 13 days to the maritime trade box. That gives the main fleet an opportunity to kind of interdict anything that's moving north. Escaping the trade box, anything that's been damaged might move north. It gives them a twice over attempt really to engage. And then move into the trade box themselves and engage anything that tries to remain there. We're winning the war at sea in the Mediterranean, I'd say. We're doing okay. Let's quickly check our trading fleets here. Here they have raiders also. I mean, the traders in the kind of western approaches aren't bad. Looks like they've got raiders here also. Yeah, throughout the rest of Europe, actually, our merchant position looks decent. You know, they've taken hits over time, but nothing too severe. Let's have a look at the rest of the reports. I mean, these two should hold the action long enough to allow support to come in. This should come off. This absolutely should come off. Not sure if 11 days is enough, though. In 11 days, I think that they could probably take Sofia if they assaulted it. I mean, the fortress has been... I mean, they have got siege guns in there. Absolutely, they've definitely got siege guns. Maybe a couple of batteries or regiments or whatever. But to have done that quickly, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's have a look at the economy. Augusta. Okay. Yeah, we need to take Sofia back, clear it. Economically, it looks like a decent round in terms of exports anyway. Really decent. What are we at? 91 steel. Yeah, 491 Revenue, private capital from domestic market sales, 327 for exports, decent. 150 imports. Okay, nice. Let's check our exports for the next turn. Iron looks a little bit thin. Right, let's actually quickly check then our sort of what our consumption is like of iron. We've got one mine that just opened up in Kars, I think. We've got 2 more in Van. Structure expenses 14, structures production 3. Right, okay. Plus, so we got Kars, Bulgaria, but of course Sofia's being besieged, so that's subtracted. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so like 12. Basically, when our iron mines in Van are complete, we're going to have structure production of 12, expenses 14. That's not that bad. Crafts production of 5. So actually, we're a net positive on iron once the Van mines are complete, and once Sofia has been freed. That's good. It's just that these aren't complete yet, and we can't access the mines in Sofia for all of the above reasons. So, well, we'll obviously import in the meantime. We're going to have to. Yeah, we'll just import 10 units. Keep our head above water. Coal, we're losing 2 units per turn on coal, but we've got railways being constructed in Petric. That'll take time. Steel we're okay at now, I think. Yeah, steel's good. Right. Let's begin exporting manufactured goods. Amazing to think that we're in the midst of a war and we can export manufactured goods. Make sure we've always got 90 held back. And next turn, not this turn, we have got enough officers, but I want to leave enough just in case there's any problems. We'll begin the construction of an additional militia corps. Let's move this one. So Adrianople via train. Well, that's the economy basically dealt with. Let's just check our assets balance again, make sure everything's kind of okay. That's good. Let's just check our construction site. It's in Ankara. Textiles, steel furnace, military gear and Sinop. We've got 4 factories being constructed simultaneously, so the Industrial Revolution is still well underway in the Ottoman Empire. Right, so peace has broken out between Mexico and the United States. By the looks of it, the United States pressed kind of something we're looking at maybe doing with Austria, or we were looking at doing with Austria. They forced Mexico to release a state, and the United States, or the Union, has withdrawn from Mexico, and this is the state Santa Cruz. Yeah, Chan Santa Cruz. Okay. So that's obviously going to be an American satellite, I suppose, ultimately. It's not actually an open satellite, but it's going to be a very minor power that's going to, be dominated by the United States. So it gives the Americans, Washington, a bit of a toehold on the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay. What's the march like? 10 days. Yeah, I think we just sit tight on the defensive, to be frank, in the Yemen. I don't want to do anything too crazy there. Let's just check what else is going on. No concerns, no worries. Yeah, we're getting close to kind of colonial status, but we just can't kind of reach that threshold percentage. Right, that's it. Let's quickly check a little project. Okay, I think that's it for now. So yeah, counter-attack at Sofia, late May. I'll pass turn and we'll see you in early June. And the hope is that we're going to be dealing a decisive blow here. The Austrians are low on supplies. If they fall back north towards Plevna, we've still got an army there under Abdi Pasha. Yeah, held in a defensive posture. We've got Hussein Avenue that can support both Plevna and Sofia. So we've got our forces in a configuration when they can support each other. So right, I'll put you on pause, pass turn, and we'll see you in early June. Okay, welcome back then, early June 1861, and it's been a pretty Titanic round. So, yeah, you remember that Omar Pasha and Abdul Karim Nadir were moving to Sofia, looking to lift the siege. Hussein Avenue was in Rumelia in support, as was Abdi Pasha. Neither of them activated in Rumelia and Abdi Pasha in Ludoria or in Plevna. What's something that happened? Well, first of all, we can see that for the position of Austrian forces, that they've flooded forces through Varna, I think. The open flank through Varna, and they are looking to position themselves between our main force in northern Bulgaria and the capital, at Constantinople. That's what it looks like they're doing. They have not pressed an assault against Sofia, maybe looking to conserve their forces, but they are looking to position themselves in both Sofia and Rumelia. And yeah, maybe set up for a strike against the capital. Now they had about 400,000 or 500,000 troops in Sofia, plus joined by whatever they had left in Constanza. They've moved around very, very quickly, and it was a huge battle. So they pressed Hussein Avenue on, I think, day 4, day 5, something like that, before Omar Pasha or Abdul Karim Nadir Pasha could get to Sofia. So there was a big battle in Rumelia. Now I can safely say this is the biggest battle that we've seen so far. It's the biggest victory as well. 5 national morale points from this. It is big. The combined Austrian force and everything that they could muster, the supporting force in Sofia, plus I guess 200,000-300,000 from what the defeated forces they had up here. But then bear in mind, they were defeated, what, a month ago now, you know. They moved those around to get into Rumelia. That combined force was 700,000. 51,000 horses, 3,000 guns. Against our force, 379,000, 65,000 horse, 2,000 guns, and it is a huge victory. It is an astonishing victory. 189,000 casualties the Austrians take. I mean, if that doesn't say that we're in a new era of warfare, I don't know what does. It is unbelievable. How many elements? 7, 14, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. HQ, so one of them is probably an entire army corps wiped out. Plus 37,000 prisoners. It's not cheap. But, I mean, given what we've achieved here, it would be amazing if we suffered anything less. 82,000 casualties. The good thing about this is the casualties are fairly well spread, which is a relief. And they're spread across Hussein Avenue's force, Omar Pasha, Abdul Karim Nadir Pasha, and Abdi Pasha. So they're spread across all of the forces, which actually makes it okay. Probably Abdul Karim Nadir came off the worst. I mean, it's just such an astonishing victory. it's eye-watering. It's I think in the years I played this game, it's one of the biggest kind of this period, 1861, one of the biggest battles. It's absolutely astonishing. 6-round action. It's not quick. It's a big ass battle. My God. Trying to see what forces they're gonna have in the mix. Well, they've got really mixed forces. Some reserve land there, some light infantry. What looks like some traitors to the Austrian cause there. Yeah, I mean, a big battle, really big engagement, and just the most astounding success. Incredible. Where does that leave us? Well, what happened after that is Austria presses an assault. No, hang on, that's a lie. That's something else. They press an assault against Warneck on day 12, and they take Warneck. Furthermore, they've got 50,000 men now under Albrecht von Oesterreich moving down through the west. That's a pretty modest force, but we don't really want that linking up with their, we don't want them getting a supply route open, really. But then there's kind of not much we can do about it. We do have forces in Niche, only Bashi Bazooks, and also Bashi Bazooks in Kosovo. Now, Omar Pasha, Abdul Karim Nadir, after the massive battle at Rumelia, do eventually make it to Sofia. It's under the command of Omar Pasha. He breaks contact pretty wisely. So, I mean, it's nominally a defeat, but we suffer 6,000 casualties and inflict 13,000. The Austrian force now is down to 553,000. I mean, this is a defeat, but I mean, he would have broken contact on the basis of exhaustion and losses. I'm glad that he did. But anyway, so he breaks contact, falls back to falls back north to Plevna. I mean, he would have spent 5 days supporting Hussein Avni in Rumelia. Yeah, just absolutely astounding. So what a turn! What a turn! We capture some Austrian forces. We capture the basis to form an additional 2 corps comprised of POWs, Landwehr Reserve Corps. I guess we'll move them back into the interior and just let them sit there and accumulate kind of prisoners of war. We'll use those as garrisoning forces, I'm fine with that. So yeah, there we go. The Battle of Rumelia. These forces, even though Omar Pasha has them set to kind of passive posture, they're okay to fight, probably not engage in offensive actions. All forces are activated this turn. So what do? Risk it for the biscuit. Requires thought, this. Yeah, that's it. I think we'll leave it there. We'll pick up in early June, where we left off. And, yeah. See where we go from here. It's a big victory. 200,000 casualties on the Austrian part. We capture a lot of prisoners as well. Combined Austrian forces down to about 400,000 or 500,000 now, I guess. Yeah. And, I mean, they could still press an assault against Sofia. Bear in mind that Sofia is totally breached. So, the fortress doesn't provide any defensive benefit now. So, the force that's there is well outnumbered, They're even landing hits on the force with their artillery. You can see our defending forces are starting to take damage. We've got supplies up to Plevna. That's good to see. So, yeah, we're going to have to sort of have a think about this. What to do from here. But, it's a big victory. Do we sort of take a bit of a gamble and look to kind of roll this force up? Go on the offensive, push again? I mean, Hussein Avni and Abdi Pasha's force are actually in pretty good shape for the most part. They could move. They could be supported by, Omar and Abdul Karim Nadir. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we sit tight. We'll think about it. Any suggestions, answers on a postcard. But I'm going to leave it there, and we will pick up in early June. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.